All right, ladies. Now, I'm going to tell you something, and this is statistically. Shay didn't make this up. I promise I didn't make it up. Because I used to be in this group, so of course I wouldn't want to say this about myself, but here's the fact. The fact is that as a type A, as a woman who is a ruby, you are less likely, unless you heal your love blocks and know what you are doing and how to date, and dating is different for a ruby, then you are more likely to stay single, period. I really need y'all to hear me. There has been so much research done on this. The more successful a woman is, the more money she makes, the more likely you are to be single. For multiple reasons, but one of the main reasons is oftentimes a ruby has a fixed mindset. Okay? The reason why you're a ruby is often because you are driven to overachieve. Your primary needs, there are 6 human needs. Your primary need is often the need for significance, to be seen, to feel important, okay? To matter, to accomplish things. That feeds your need for significance, which is a human need. There are 6 human needs that everybody, no matter where you go around the world, they have that need. So for a ruby, with her need being significance, somewhere along the way in her childhood, she did not feel significant. Either she had a critical parent that was constantly criticizing her, where she, no matter what she did, she didn't feel good enough. Or people around her who didn't see her, she didn't feel valued. So she was going to be seen one way or another. She was going to perform. I'm going to show you. So then oftentimes these are the ladies that did exceptionally well in school. They went to college. They accomplished all kinds of amazing things. They are very successful in their career. And then they take the same behavior and mindset that allowed them to be successful in their career, and they translate it over into relationships, and it crashes and burns, because what works in the boardroom does not work in the bedroom of relationships. And you will always attract at your lowest point of trauma. Being an overachiever is a trauma response. Your achievement isn't bad, it's good. However, you got to know what the source of it is. Okay? The source of it is a trauma response. Which is why, and this confuses a lot of type A women, because they're like, how was I able to have accomplished all this and then now I'm a single mom? Or how did I accomplish all of this and then I end up with this Build-A-Bear? Or how am I accomplishing all this and I can't seem to let this man go? Or how did I end up with a married man when I accomplished all of this? And then you're super critical of yourself, which leaves you stuck. So then you clock out from really even trying when it comes to love, and then you either sabotage yourself. So this is what a lot of type A's do. It sounds counterintuitive, but this is what they do. For a type A to be wrong hurts more than being slapped in the face. Okay? Type A's do not like being wrong. They don't like the idea of trusting somebody and being wrong about their judgment. Not being able to trust themselves hurts way more than losing trust for somebody else. So then when somebody betrays that trust, something in them shuts down. They're not going to make the same mistake again, at least not saying that they gave it all they got. So then what they do in next relationships is they don't really try. They settle for the man that really doesn't deserve them, that's beneath them, and they might care about them, but they're not giving everything they got, because they can always say, well, I didn't really try that much, so it's not a reflection on me. And oftentimes it's subconscious. It's subconscious why she would do something like that. Oftentimes type A's attract narcissists because a narcissist is master at being able to subdue, control, trigger a ruby. Okay? They are a master at it. Because it takes a master manipulator in order to take a woman like a ruby, who's very smart, who's very accomplished, who's very make it happen, to be able to slip through the cracks. And it is her pain that attracts the narcissist. Man babies love a ruby because of the fact that a ruby is going to, if you don't do it right, then a ruby is going to get it done. So The ruby will be like, oh, you're not paying the bills enough, I will pay it, okay? They will be doing what Tyler Perry said. Like, as long as a man is breathing, I guess, as long as he's breathing and he can eat, and at least you can say you're not alone, then just pay the bills and take care of this man, because, hell, a broke one who does nothing for you is better than no one at all, okay? And you'll be surprised. A lot of rubies will do that. You'll be surprised when you pull back the curtain how many rubies have men, and you're like, wait a minute, how did you end up with him? All day, every day. Trauma response. For some rubies, you're so in your masculine energy, you're so used to fighting the world, that the only thing you can attract is a toxic partner. You're so hurt that you are literally fighting a ghost. And the reason why is, again, because not being able to trust yourself hurts more than anything. And the ghost you're fighting is yourself. That's the painful part. For a citrine and for an onyx, a citrine and a diamond, citrines tend to attract men who are abusive. Okay? Citrines often find themselves in abusive relationships, and they're being abused mentally or emotionally or financially, sexually. They're being abused oftentimes in the worst way. Or a lot of times a citrine doesn't even notice that she's being abused, because she grew up watching abuse. She grew up being abused, even if it's verbally. Okay? Having a parent call you stupid or putting you down or neglecting you, that's a form of abuse. Okay? And for a citrine, she ends up being the type that attracts men that's going to abuse her. For a diamond, she attracts men who are abusive and who mistreats her, because she doesn't see her worth and she doesn't see her value. Just like a diamond, she thinks she's a coal and she doesn't really see the value.